going to start in a seated position today. Just crisscross your legs, sit up nice and tall. Start to make your breaths a little deeper. On your next inhale, let's lift the shoulders up to your ears and just place them down your back on the exhale. And doing that a couple more times, going at your own pace, following your breath in and out. Let's place our fingertips down on the ground. We're going to take that left ear and just give it a little pull over to the right, stretching out the neck, maybe dipping your chin, or maybe lifting your chin, just finding that kind of kinked spot in your neck that it really needs the stretch. And taking it over to the other side, reaching up and over with that left hand, pulling down on your ear gently, and maybe just moving that chin around, finding the spot that works for you. Let's just roll our chin down toward our chest, maybe back and forth a couple of times, loosening up the neck. Bringing our head back to center. Let's place our hands on our knees. Or actually, maybe bringing our hands to heart center, bowing your head. Maybe setting an intention for your practice today. Maybe it's an intention just for this class. Maybe it's an intention for the rest of the week or the month or the summer. Just taking a moment to reflect on that intention. Now let's place our hands on our knees and we're just going to start to breathe deeply in through the nose and just let it out through the mouth. Take a couple more of those. Just let it out. Take your deepest breath of the day. At the top, sip in just a little more air. And let it go. Let's seal our lips now and move into our Ujjayi breath. So breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Starting to restrict the back of the throat so that we can hear our breath. Nice little reminder to keep that breath going through our practice in every pose. Can you hear your breath? Start to open up the hips. We're just going to roll around the knees. So big circles. And as you come back, pulling those shoulder blades apart. So rolling forward, stretching through the hips. Rolling back, stretching through those shoulders, making your tummy nice and hollow. Maybe you pause in one spot or another where your hip might really need it. Just adding some organic movement here. And maybe turning it, going the other way. Maybe getting a little deeper into those hips. And again, maybe pausing here or there. Feeling it in the glute, in the hip. Coming back to center, let's reach up high, inhale. As you exhale, reach those hands in front of you, placing your fingertips on the floor, the mat in front of you. Just letting your head hang heavy at first. Maybe reaching a little further, tiptoeing those fingertips out just a little bit more. And let's just slowly crawl ourselves back up. We're going to take this into a tabletop. So knees under your hips, hands wrists under your shoulders. Let's do a couple of cat-cow. So as you breathe in, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, and out, pressing through your belly button, pressing through tops of your shoulders. And let's take that a few more times. Breathing in for cat. Exhale for cow. One more time in and out. Just add some organic movement here now. Maybe just swinging those hips from side to side. Maybe pressing through one shoulder and then another. Loosening up through the spine, the hips, the shoulders, wherever you might need it. Let's come to stillness. We're gonna reach high with that right arm. And as we exhale, threading the needle underneath that left arm, reaching the left fingertips forward and just resting your right ear on the ground. Twisting, opening up those shoulder blades. And on your next inhale, let's unwind, reaching up high with that right arm and setting it back down. Let's go to the other side, reaching with that left arm, inhale. Exhale to thread. Resting our head on the ground, reaching with those right fingertips forward. As you exhale, can you twist a little deeper in your stretch? On your next inhale, unwind. Let's place that hand back down to center. We're going to just pull our knees in a little bit closer to our wrists, starting to warm up the spine, going into beast pose. So tuck your toes, and we're just gonna lift those knees a couple of inches off the ground, digging our fingertips into the ground to protect our wrists. Squeezing your belly button in, starting to warm up the core. Let's lift our right toes just an inch off the ground. And set it down. Let's go to the other side, left toes. Exhale, release. One more time on each side. Squeeze in that belly button. And last time. Let's walk those feet back out. And we're gonna scoop our tailbones up into the sky, into our first down dog. Maybe your first down dog. Your knees are bent here. Let's pedal out our feet, walk your dog, loosening up the calves in our first down dog of the day. We're gonna go up on those tippy toes. And on your exhale, drop those heels down to the to the right side. You should feel a nice stretch through your left side body. Inhale, tippy toes. Let's bring it down to the other side. Breathe in through those ribs, stretching out that right side body. Inhale up on those toes. And just set the heels back. Let's push back into our down dog a little bit harder. Letting the head dangle. Let's take little baby steps all the way to the top of our mats, meeting our wrists. Deep bend in your knees and just let that head hang for just a minute more. Maybe you shake your head. Yes and no. Letting it release. All right, halfway lifting with a nice flat back. And release all the way up, root to rise. Breathing in. Hands to heart center on your exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, we're gonna twist to the right. So opening up those arms really wide, keeping those hips forward. Breathing in, inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, reach. Swan dive back down to those toes and halfway lift. We're gonna step this back into plank and go through our first vinyasa. So up on the tippy toes, we're gonna push ourselves forward in the slowest chaturanga, bending those elbows, bringing ourselves all the way down to the ground, nice and slow. Let's place those toes on the ground. On your next inhale, baby cobra. So lifting. Stay for the exhale. Inhale and release. Let's push this back up through plank into our down dog. Let's take a couple more of those same sun salutations, this time up on your toes. Take a look at your hands. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. We're gonna twist right. Inhale, reach. Twist left. Inhale and dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift and step or hop into your vinyasa. So through chaturanga, this time maybe coming up into an up dog or sticking with cobra, your choice. And down dog, release. Take that sun salutation all the way through on your own, just moving with one breath to one movement, taking your time, moving at your own pace, and I will meet you back here in down dog. And when you get back to down dog, just take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Maybe take 2 more of those. I'm just gonna check my video. All right. All right, let's move into our flow. So I'm gonna take a little slow on the first one and then we'll speed it up and add a few more difficult things to the second and third round. So first round, let's take that right leg high, pressing through the heel. You should feel the stretch down that calf, maybe lifting the heel a little higher, and let's pull it in, knee to nose. Pausing here, pressing through the shoulder blades, and let's set that foot down in between our hands. Bringing that left knee down, Anjaneyasana. Untuck your toes and lift the arms high. Inhale into our low crescent. Anjaney. On your next exhale, we're going to shoot those arms back. Coming into a half splits. Maybe you stay here with your arms back. Maybe you put your fingertips on the ground for balance. Pull those right toes back towards you. Inhale to stretch. Exhale to deepen. Stay for one more exhale. On your next inhale, bringing it back into that low lunge. So lifting up that left knee. And on your next inhale, rise it up, high crescent. On your next exhale, let's open this up into a warrior 2. So spinning that left foot down, heel to the ground. Taking a moment to make sure we're sitting low in that front leg. Rolling those shoulders down your back, reaching with those fingertips. Taking a look over those right fingertips. Sucking in the belly, squaring our hips off to the side. Let's flip that front palm, reaching and reverse your warrior. As you reverse, we're gonna straighten out that front leg. And let's bring it down into a triangle. So swinging that left hip out, reaching, reaching, reaching. And when you can't reach anymore, placing those right fingertips on the ground. And maybe bringing those left fingertips high. Couple of options here. If you can't get all the way down to the floor, that's all right. Maybe grabbing the shin. Just make sure you're not dropping that chest down, staying open to the side. If you want a little more core work, maybe you take that left hand forward. Maybe you take that right hand forward, like you're holding a big beach ball. All right, let's relax. Let's bend through that right knee, reverse your warrior, and let's bring it on down to the ground into our low lunge. Inhale, we're gonna easy twist. So opening up to the right, lifting that right arm high. We're going to just heel toe our right foot back just a little bit, coming up onto the pinky edge of both of our feet. So we're going to swing this down, stretching out the hip, and then we're going to reach it up high overhead. So inhale, exhale, set it down. Inhale, reach. Exhale. You should feel a nice stretch in your hip here. Promised you hip opening. And last time, as we bring it back up high, turning that foot and stepping back into plank and going through our vinyasa. Option here to float that right foot off the ground as you move through your vinyasa. Up dog or cobra, and down dog. Pausing for just a moment. Coming back to our breath. Let's lift that left leg high. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Can you lift it a little higher? And let's pull it through, knee to nose. Pausing here for a moment, pushing through those shoulders, and set her down nice and easy. Dropping that right knee, Anjane, untuck the toes, lift the arms. Stretching through that right hip flexor. Maybe even taking the hands to prayer, bringing them back behind your ears. Let's shoot it back, half splits. Hands can stay here for balance challenge, or maybe placing them on the floor. As you breathe in, lengthen, stretch toward those toes. As you exhale, deepen the stretch, bringing that head closer to your knee. On your next inhale, let's pull this back up into our low lunge. So that right knee comes off the ground. Place that right palm all the way on the ground, reaching high. Sorry, I was going into the twist already. We're actually just gonna stand this right up into our high crescent. So, and let's open this up, warrior two. So taking a moment, maybe checking your video. It's always a nice mirror. Making sure we're sitting nice and low in that front leg, strong in that back leg. Hands out wide, shoulders back, looking over those left fingertips this time. Let's flip that front palm, reverse your warrior. And let's straighten out that front leg. Let's move into triangle. So you might step your foot in just a little bit, swinging that right hip out, reaching with those left fingertips. And you can't reach anymore, bringing it down to the shin, or maybe you're on the ground, right hand high. You need that core action, maybe reaching with that right hand overhead, bringing that left hand up to meet it. Let's bend through that front leg, reverse your warrior, and cartwheel down to that foot. Now we're ready for easy twist. So right hand on the ground, pushing through those toes on your right foot, reaching the left hand high, easy twist. Same as we did on this side. Let's heel toe. I'm going to turn it around. Let's heel toe. And we're going to set it down. Exhale. Ooh, nice stretch through the hip. Inhale, reach. Squeeze through those abs. And reach. And one more time. This time, I think we need one more. Want to be balanced here. Set it down. This time, let's swing it over, moving that heel back to between our hands, stepping back for vinyasa, maybe floating the foot off the ground as we move down. And pausing here for just a moment. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Sealing those lips once again. Back to our Ujjayi. All right, we'll do that flow again a little faster. And we're gonna add on a few things here and there. Let's lift that right leg high. Let's lift it just a little higher. Pull it in, knee to nose. Pushing through the shoulders, step through your hands. And drop the knee, lift your arms, inhale. Exhale, half splits. On your next inhale, pushing up, if you can, straight up into that high crescent. Inhale, exhale, opening it up, warrior two. Flipping that right palm forward. Reverse your warrior. As you reverse, straightening out that right leg. Now let's bring it down into our triangle, reaching through on the ground or on your shin. Here's where we're going to change it up just a little bit. So you might need to step that back leg in just a little bit. We're going to reverse our triangle. So swing that left palm down to the ground. Maybe you're up on your fingertips, that's fine. And we're going to try to swing our right arm high. So this might be enough, a revolved triangle. Option here, if you need more, is to push up into a revolved half moon. So that left hand maybe stays on the ground, lifting that left heel high. Maybe you try to play with your balance and lift those left fingertips up off the ground. All right, let's set all of this down, forward fold. Halfway lift. As we lift high, we're gonna bring that right knee up with us. So we're in a one-legged Tadasana. Flexing that foot, one-legged Tadasana. We're just gonna take that ankle over. So we're making a little figure four with our legs, bringing our hands to prayer. And we're just gonna sit this down into chair. So figure four chair. Keeping the chest lifted, trying to really get a deep bend in the knee. Getting a little wobbly, that's okay. All right, ever so carefully, we're gonna unwind our legs and we're just gonna step it back into our lunge. Ooh, didn't have enough room behind me. All right, stepping back into our lunge. Inhale, lift the arms into our high crescent. Exhale, setting it down. Going back into that easy twist. So this time we're on the opposite side. So going back into that left easy twist. So option here to do some of those hip openers again, or if you're ready to work the core, coming into side plank, stacking those legs. If you need a little more, even maybe lifting his left toes up, maybe reaching with the left arm. If you really want to challenge your balance, maybe looking toward those fingertips. All right, wherever you are, let's set this down into our plank and go through our vinyasa. So down chaturanga, up dog or cobra, down dog. Do that all over again on the other side. So left leg lift. Bring it in, knee to nose, push through those shoulders. Set it down between those hands and breathe in, Anjane. As you exhale, shoot it back, half splits. Inhale, coming up into high crescent. Exhale, open it up, warrior two. Flipping that palm, reverse, and let's straighten out that front leg. Going into our triangle. Right arm raises high. On your next exhale, placing that right palm down on the ground, maybe stepping that back foot in just a little if you need to get to the ground. And revolving our triangle, so lifting That left arm high, maybe looking up toward those fingertips. Maybe if that hurts your neck, keeping it looking down at the ground. And if you're ready for it, moving into a revolved half moon. So keeping those right toes flexed. Maybe you play with your balance. See if you can lift those right fingertips off the ground. Using that core to deepen the twist. All right, let's shut it down. So forward fold, bring that right leg down. Halfway lift. As we rise, bringing that left foot up with us this time. So left-legged, woo, wobbly much. Left-legged, one-legged Tadasana. As you exhale, let's cross it over. Opening up that hip, really pushing that knee back. And then when you're ready, setting down into that figure 4 chair. So keeping the chest high, sitting down maybe a little deeper. I'm feeling the stretch a lot more on this side. Might feel totally different than our figure 4 on the other side. And let's slowly start to unwind and gently, quietly, setting that foot back down into our lunge. Let's reach high crescent. Bring it down to the ground. Inhale, easy twist. And on your exhale, start to wiggle your way into that hip opener or side plank. Hang out here for a bit. Lift those hips high if you're in side plank. And maybe test your balance. Lift those right feet off the ground, or right foot, reaching with those right fingertips. And let's close this down. Vinyasa. Option to float that foot. Always. And pressing up, down dog. I promised you 3 rounds. We've done 2. Just 1 more to go. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. All right, let's do it. Last round. Lifting that right leg high. Bringing it in, knee to nose. Step through, dropping that left knee on Janae. Reaching high. Inhale. Exhale, shoot it back, half splits. Inhale, try to push all the way up into high crescent. Oof. Opening up into our warrior 2, looking over those fingertips. Can you set a little deeper here? Flipping that front palm as we reach back, straightening out our front leg. And swing that hip back. Reaching, let's come into triangle. Regular old triangle here. You know where we're going. Step that back leg in just a little bit if you need to. We're gonna swing that left hand down, reaching high with the right. Maybe you hang out here. Maybe you push up into our revolved half moon. Squeezing through those abs, squeezing through the glutes, keeping that leg lifted high. Doesn't have to be super high. Maybe trying to lift those fingertips off the ground. All right, let's fold this down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you reach high, bringing that right leg up. One-legged Tadasana. And crossing it over that front leg. Hands to heart center. Let's sit it back. All right, so here, feel free to stay in your figure 4. If you are a flyer and you want to get upside down, you can also take this into a figure 4 crow. So making a little shelf with that right leg. I attempted this the other day. Let's see if we can do it. All right, let's take a second to unwind. So we're gonna step back into our lunge. There's just no graceful way of getting out of that crow. Reaching the arms up high, high crescent, and dropping it back down. Easy twist, opening up to the left this time. And we're gonna step that foot back into our side plank. Also for side plank, another option, if you need a little more support here, putting that right leg down, supported side plank. Can you lift those hips a little higher? And let's release into our vinyasa, flow through. Down dog. Feels good to be back in down dog. Just one more side to go. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out. Sealing those lips and focusing on the breath. Let's lift up left leg high now. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. And setting it down. Inhale, Anjane. Exhale, half splits. Inhale into high crescent. And exhale, open it up. Warrior two, sitting low in that front leg. Flipping that front palm and reaching back. Straightening out that front leg, and let's swing it into triangle. Reaching high with that right arm. Staying for another inhale. On the exhale, let's swing that right arm down and revolve our triangle. So right hand on the ground, left fingertips reaching for the sky, and if you're ready, maybe popping this up into our revolved triangle, revolved half moon. Maybe trying to lift those fingertips up off the ground. Can you fly? Another way to fly. All right, let's drop all of this down, forward fold. Halfway lift. As you rise, let's take that left foot up with us this time, one-legged Tadasana. And take it across, figure four. Hands to heart center. Let's sit it back into chair. So if you're gonna stay in chair, challenge yourself to sit maybe a little deeper. If you took crow on the other side, maybe giving crow a try on this side as well. So hooking those elbows around your ankle, around the front of the knee, and just kind of rocking yourself in. Ooh. It's a lot harder for me on that side. Okay. All right, let's step back into our lunge. So if you're in chair, unwind, step that foot back nice and gently. Coming down to our low lunge, placing those left fingers on the ground, reaching up with those right, and let's step this back into our side plank. See if you can do it all in one motion this time. Whoop. Remember the option here to place that knee on the ground for maybe a supported side plank. That's cool too. If you want a challenge, lifting those right toes up, reaching with those right fingertips. Staying for one more inhale. As you exhale, let's move through our vinyasa. Okay, hopefully you're sweaty by now. Just drop this down into child's pose. If you need to grab some water or maybe towel off, now's a good time to do it. I'm gonna grab some water. But when you're done, coming back into child's pose, a lazy child's pose. Hips out wide or not. And just letting your head hang heavy or set heavy on the ground. Reaching with those fingertips. Let's start to make this a little bit more of an active child's pose. So reaching with those fingertips, pressing your fingertips into the ground so you can really feel like you're kind of pulling on those shoulder joints. All right, and we're gonna just pull ourselves with our fingertips, bringing those knees in together. And we're just gonna walk this into puppy dog pose. So your bottom's up, off your heels, and your fingertips are reaching forward. Maybe your head comes to the ground, maybe not. But keeping those arms active. And let's just pull this through. We're gonna come down to our elbows, making a little triangle with those elbows and a fist, and pushing up to our toes into plank. Of course, your option for plank here, you can always do plank with one knee down or two knees down, no worries, but we're gonna hang out in plank for just a bit. So check your video, make sure your bottom is nice and level with your shoulders. So we don't wanna be way up here, that's not working us out. We don't wanna be way down here, that's hurting our back. So nice and level with the shoulders. We are just going to march our toes side to side. Marching, marching. All right, and let's start to make our movement side to side. So taking those right toes side and middle, left side and middle. Side taps. Don't forget about that breath. Let's do one more on each side. All right, last thing, we're just gonna rock it back and forth up on those toes. If you're on your knees, you can rock this as well, but maybe you're pulling with those elbows a little bit more. Let's do one more rock. And let's hold it, hold it, hold it in your plank. Hold it, hold it. Holy moly. And let's just release down. Relax. We are going to stretch out all those muscles that we just worked. So going into bow, B-O-W pose, we're gonna look for those feet. And on your next inhale, push your feet into your hands and cobra with your upper body, coming into bow. If you can't get your hands all the way to your feet, that's okay. Maybe just pulling back with a little bit of space there, that's all right too. But if you are grabbing those feet, kicking those feet into your hands, trying to kind of open up between your legs and your bottom. As you're breathing, maybe you're starting to rock, not intentionally, but just rocking from your breath going in and out. And let's release. So placing those hands next to your shoulders, tuck your toes, let's push this up into plank. Don't worry, we're not gonna hang out here. Pressing it back into down dog. Enjoying our last down dog of our practice today. And when you're ready, just jump it right through. We are gonna come to seated. And we're gonna place our left foot out straight. Reaching up high, and we're gonna reach for those toes. So here, we're not really stretching the hamstrings so much as the side of our hip, the side of our lower back, maybe into our glute. So maybe reposition if you're feeling this more in your hamstring. All right, let's relax. Let's place that right leg forward, left knee in, reaching high, inhale. As you exhale, reaching for those toes, or the calf, or the ankle. Taking care not to hold your breath. Keep it flowing. And let's release. All right, we're just gonna take that knee up. We're gonna do a little funny business here. So we're just first gonna kind of rock that hip like it's a little baby. And this is the super weird / fun part. So we're gonna take our right palm to our foot, and you might even bend your right leg. And then we're just gonna roll around on that glute muscle. So maybe you're down here, but you're just kind of rolling out that big old muscle. Maybe you need it a little more on the hip. Maybe it's back here on the kind of the top of the hip. But just roll it around. Maybe you're moving your leg more so. Maybe you're moving your body more so. Just kind of play with it. See where you kind of need that massage action. All right. I can't see anyone's videos. You can only see me, so don't worry about looking awkward. It'll just be me looking awkward. All right, let's sit it back up. We're just going to fold that right leg in. Into almost a right angle, not quite. It's a little less than a right angle. And then we're gonna set that left leg on top. So we're in kind of a double log here, flexing those toes to keep those knees protected. And this might be a good enough hip stretch for you. Trying to get that foot all the way on the top of the knee. I feel a lot of sensation here in my hips, but if you need a little more, if you are more flexible in your hips, starting to bend over those legs, maybe even taking those hands and walking your fingertips forward. Making sure that you're breathing, especially through this stretch. It's so easy with so much tension in the hips from sitting a lot to kind of hold your breath, because it's not the most pleasant feeling stretching through those hips. With each exhale, breathing into those hips, loosening them up just a little bit more. Let's unwind, maybe shaking out your knees just a little bit. And let's do that all on the other side. So maybe keep that left knee bent, grabbing onto that right leg, first giving a little rocking back and forth, opening up that hip a little bit, flexing the toes, and let's do it on the other side, massaging that big old glute muscle. One of the biggest muscles in our body, maybe the biggest muscle in our body. I know I'm fuzzy on my anatomy. So maybe you're rolling that leg around. Maybe it's more in the hip, maybe it's more in the glute, maybe even in the lower back a little bit. All right, awkwardness over. Let's take that left. I swear I've learned this in actual yoga class. I'm not just making this up. All right, double log on the other side. This side might feel a little bit different. Maybe you're more flexible, less flexible. So again, just sitting here and pressing on the knees or not might be plenty of sensation for you. Maybe you start to roll over those knees. Maybe you start to reach those hands forward and let your head drop. Keep those toes flexed, protecting the knees. Bringing your focus back to your breath. Can you imagine your breath flowing into those hips, loosening up any tightness, any pinch? And on your next inhale, let's unwind. So helping that knee up, maybe giving those knees a little shake, loosening things back up. And let's just kind of do a little reverse of that. So placing your feet together in a butterfly, sitting up nice and tall and bending over. And this time kind of stretching out the opposite side, the insides of the hips. From here, grab onto the outer edges of your feet And we're just going to roll this back into a happy baby. So just pausing here for just a second on your bottom and falling back into that happy baby. Yay, baby. Maybe giving it a little shake. Maybe stretching out one leg and then the other. Bringing those toes together, straightening through the legs. We can go up into a shoulder stand here. So you could stay here in staff, or placing those hands below your lower back, standing up on those shoulders, making sure you're supporting your back with those hands. And if it's in your practice, maybe taking those legs down to the floor slowly into plow. If you're in plow, just bend your knees so they come right here by your ears, and let's gently roll ourselves down. All the way down. Let's spread our arms out wide, bringing that right leg up and twisting it over to the left, looking over the right shoulder. On your next inhale, grabbing that knee, helping it up. Let's go to the other side. Left leg in and drop it over the right side. Trying to keep both shoulders on the ground. Maybe that means your knee doesn't go down quite as far. And looking over that left shoulder. On your next inhale, let's lift that left knee in. Let's bring that right knee in to join it. Let's give ourselves a big old hug. Squeezing in, knee to nose. And let's just relax into Shavasana. In this Shavasana, you might try putting the palms of your feet together again, like in butterfly. If that's all right on your back, you might take one hand to heart, one hand to your tummy, and just feel the rise and fall of your breath as it moves through your body. Taking a moment to fully and deeply relax. Maybe you take those legs out of butterfly and just all the way down to the ground, Shavasana. Maybe taking those hands out wide. Letting go of the restriction in the back of your throat. Returning to a normal breath. And starting to scan your body to see if there's any place you might be holding on to just a little bit of tension. Common places might be between your brows. Can you smooth that out? Let it go. Your jaw, maybe swinging your jaw from side to side. And just letting it kind of hang open a little bit, relaxing your tongue. So many muscles in our face that we can clench without even realizing it. So can you just let it all go? Just let your face melt. Start to notice all the points where your body is meeting the mat. The back of your head, your shoulder blades, elbows, maybe your knuckles, your tailbone, your calves, your heels. And just focus on those points. Feel heavy, like you're going to leave a little imprint in your mat when you get up. Just taking another couple of moments for yourself today. If you're ready, starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, flutter your eyes open. Maybe roll your wrists and your ankles a little bit. They did a lot of hard work today. And however you get there, coming to seated, just how we began. Maybe you're closing your eyes again, bringing your hands to heart center, bowing your head to your heart, and returning to your intention that you set for today's practice, or for your week, or for your month, or for your summer. And feeling gratitude for having this time to slow down time and take a moment to stretch and relax and take some time for yourself. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.